no clue that thousands of people are sitting around the world working every day and every night so that she has a smile on her face, right? She doesn't know that. She just knows that there is something in her life that has made a huge difference. She's very happy about it. And so it's an interesting project. It's like you don't directly see the results, but it's helping somebody out there. This is the project that I'm working on. This is my mother's, village, my maternal village, Bhagmalpur. It's in the district of Jaunpur in UP. It's a very small village. That's the school. That's where I went. You can see one of the girls has an EXO there. She got up on the table and I said, okay, write your name in Hindi. And she looked up on the keyboard. It took her about 2 minutes to find the characters and she typed it. And that was the first time in her life she typed her name in Hindi, right? And so there is no internet access here. In fact, I had my phone with a USB cable with GPRS. So we sent the very first email from that village from an EXO, right? So by visiting this school and seeing what they are doing, I got a first-hand experience of what we call education, right? It's more like rubber stamp education. That's what's happening there. Yes, the kids say, I studied till 8th, but they haven't learned a thing. There is absolutely no learning going on there. So that needs to change. That's very important. That has to change. Otherwise, all of this prosperity is just superficial. It's not going to last for too long. So the open source process is all kinds of things. It's free, open, creative. It's meritocratic. Basically means everything relies on merit, right? Interesting thing about open source is when I participate in projects, the fact that I have a PhD doesn't mean anything. The fact that I am a professor doesn't mean anything. But if I do some testing, debugging, writing code, my importance in the community goes up, right? So the guy who runs the EXO Repair Center in Chicago for the entire area there in the US, he is 13 years old, right? Nobody knew that until recently because nobody saw his photo, nobody knows him. We just have his email address and he runs the whole show. He brings in the broken laptops, he has a repair shop, he has his friends who fix it, they ship them back and all that. Recently he showed up at one of these these video conference things and people are like, who's this? He's like, oh, I'm Dan, 13-year-old Dan. So he runs the show there. So it's like merit makes or counts for a lot of importance in these projects. So if you're wondering how you can be a part of this, that's the only way, participation, right? And you can take part in this and be part of something fairly big. This is one of my favorite quotes. You must be the change you wish to see in the world, right? So if you really want to see any change around you, you have to do it first, right? Like I tell my students, I'm a big fan of open source software and free formats and so on. But I really cannot stand in front of them with a Windows laptop and say that. So the first thing I have to do is I have to actually see, does it work for me? And it works for me, so I don't use any proprietary software anymore. And then I can tell my students the benefits of proprietary versus open, right? You have to do that first. But the trouble is, when you're out on the street, right, going in the bus or your motorcycle or car or whatever, you see a pothole. That's a problem. But the issue is that you cannot fix it, right? You cannot get off the car and say, let me fix it, because you don't have the capability, you don't have the permission, somebody else has to come fix it. Here the thing is that you can actually fix some of those things. You have the mechanism. So that's really what makes this a very important and interesting project. And remember, the scale is worldwide, right? We're talking Mongolia, we're talking India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq. Iraq has 100 laptops. The Iraqis are funny. They said, we don't understand the Americans. First you bomb us, then you bring us laptops. Which is it, But the Iraqi deployment is continuing now. So that's what it is. If you think you want to make a change or difference in this society, you have to do something about it. So this is coming soon. This is on Amazon. Amazon.com/exo. That's the URL to look for. Now this begins in the US on the 17th of November. And this program is for $400 US. You get 2 laptops. They ship you one, and one is donated to some child. So you get basically give one, get one is what the program is called. It was incredibly successful last year in the US. So this year they said they'll start with the US, then they will move to Europe and Asia. So I don't have the details as to whether it will come here or if it does, how it will come here. But that's the URL to look at.
But the decision where this laptop should go is taken by who?
So in this program, the decision where the other laptop goes is taken by OLPC. Right, and OLPC goes through.
Where do they get the data?
So they are using. So United Nations is the sponsor of the project.
Yes.
Right. So they use this list called the LDC list, least developed countries, and they start from the bottom. So that's why they started with Haiti, Afghanistan, and a few others. So they go up. So that's where the other laptop will go. Now, if you decide that you want to, adopt a school, then there is a different mechanism. This is not the mechanism. No. Then there is another mechanism, and then I can, get you connected to Satish Jha if you have to talk to him about how you will get 100, 200, 500 laptops for a school or district and so on. This is not the mechanism for that. There's a different mechanism for that. So, and I think that's about it. Yes, so that's my contact. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. How are we doing on time?